Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and we are here at long last. At long last, we're here. I mean, well, I say at long last. I finished the original series run like 2 weeks ago, like a week and a half ago, like 2 weeks ago, roundabout. So it hasn't been that long for me. I mean, for me, the long last was actually finally getting to the series finale. So that was the long last. But yeah, now we are back again with some more Dexter, with some new Dexter. This is Dexter, New Blood, I believe it's called. The new series, I think technically pretty much like the kind of season 9, it still counts like a sequel, and it's technically kind of like a maybe like a soft-ish reboot, but then still like a sequel to to how the original story ended off and everything. So this is like technically season 9. And stuff. So yeah, we are back with Dexter, and I think for a lot of you guys, I mean, you got a lot of you having actually caught this, back when having caught the original series back when it first aired. For you, it's going to be like a lot more kind of like like the wait is technically finally over, because I mean, no one really expected for them to actually bring the show back after it ended, and I think it wasn't even until like last year or earlier last year or like the year before that they actually announced that a season 9 of Dexter is now coming, and Michael C. Hall is returning and stuff like that. So I think when it was announced, people were surprised, and like rightfully so as well. So people were kind of curious as to what they could do with it and how they could bring it back, and what their overall kind of plans were and everything. So that was a whole thing. So yeah, the way it ended, the finale, me personally, not the biggest fan, not the biggest fan of the finale as a whole, but also especially like the ending, like especially like the kind of third act, the second act on, like I think first and second acts were kind of like the first half of it was like anxiety inducing and heart pounding, and definitely kind of for me anyway, it was actually pulse pounding and everything, but the rest of it, the kind of third act onwards, just didn't really feel like much worth like celebrating, or didn't really feel like much worth being satisfied over. So I wasn't, and I think people definitely I think the vast majority of the fandom actually felt that way about the final episode too. So then I think because of that, like people just kind of like disregarded the ending and weren't really looking forward to this new thing, and stuff. So they didn't really know what to expect from it. But with this one, I think from what I've heard, the original showrunners from like the first 4 seasons are actually back and at the helm of this one. So because of that, I have. I have expectations for it to be at least good, for it to be at least good, for it to be watchable, for it to be like a nice enough kind of return, and like a nice enough kind of re-entry into the series, and actually like a good enough kind of reboot kind of thing. So because of that, like I have expectations, and they're not super high, they're not super duper high just yet. I'm gonna wait until I watch the first episode and see how things go, but they're not super duper low either, because I think like season 1 to 4 is easily considered like the prime of the show, and for me, seasons 1 to 5, I think I still managed to enjoy the 5th season, and then everything from then on was kind of like a kind of rockier kind of journey. But season 1 to 5 for me is pretty much Dexter, the absolute best of Dexter. So yeah, with this one, hoping it brings back some of that nostalgia and some of that kind of quality of like writing and stuff. So hopefully, gives us something to enjoy, and hopefully gives us something to look forward to. So I think this one is also going to be like a going back to the whole kind of weekly release kind of thing. So I think probably I think today's Tuesday. I think this was released on Sunday. I think Sunday was the 7th. So this was actually released on Sunday. So I think this could be like Sunday night TV. So yeah, I will be trying to have these reactions out as quickly as I can after I do actually film them. So that way, just kind of keeping up to date with the series and keeping the reactions up to date for you guys too. So hopefully we can all enjoy this new series together. Hopefully we can all delve into it and see where the story takes us, and see what Dexter Morgan has been up to. But I mean, he last time he faked his death. He full on faked his death, and he left Hannah and Harrison behind, believing that he'd be a burden and a curse, and his life would be too dangerous, too much of a curse for him. So he faked his death. Riding his boat into the heart of a storm, and then getting it toppled over and everything. Then the wreckage was found, but then he wasn't. So I think he survived somehow. He swam ashore or something, but he survived somehow, and I think he moved to the Pacific Northwest and became a secret kind of lumberjack and everything. So there's that whole thing. So he's kind of living his own isolated life. I think we saw it in the trailer. I saw the teaser trailer. I didn't watch the official trailer. I think I didn't watch the official kind of like 2 minute long trailer that they did, but I think I did watch the teaser trailer in my own time and stuff, and it seemed intriguing. Definitely seemed intriguing. Like a couple of familiar faces here and there, and some new faces, and like an interesting enough premise that he definitely still sees blood, and he's definitely still kind of has the same urges around blood. So it's going to be like a big part of it is going to be him still controlling those urges and everything. But whether or not anything from the past returns to actually haunt him or try and track him down or something, then I don't know. Because I mean, again, because I think realistically speaking, this is going to have to be set like the same-ish kind of amount of time after the original series ended. So then because of that, I think I don't know if they're going to bring Hannah McKay back or if they're going to bring Harrison back. I mean, Harrison's gonna have to be like a teenager, or like in his late teens at this point. He's gonna have to be like grown up somewhat too. So I don't know if they're gonna bring any of his family back, if he's gonna stay here in the Pacific Northwest, or if they're gonna have any kind of cutbacks to Miami or to something, like if he's actually gonna return there and see the PD again, if he's gonna see Batista, if he's gonna see Quinn, Masuka, like any of them, I think I don't know if it's gonna be like an actual Dexter centric series, or if it's actually gonna be something that ties him back to his old life and his old home as well. So I'm very curious in that regard to see if see just how far back they're willing to go, but then also like how nostalgic they're willing to go too with these phases. Because I think in an effort to remain spoiler free, I also literally have not heard anything about who else might be returning and who else might be actually making like a kind of comeback to this. So so yeah, but then I do wonder if we might get James Remar back as the Code, because or like maybe because well, I don't know, or maybe if I don't know what is I can't remember what the actor's name was, but the guy who played Brian, because then he portrayed the Dark Passenger in the original run when Dexter's Code was taken over by his Dark Passenger. I think he portrayed him. So I think in this one, don't know if he's still going to be trying to follow the Code, or if he's because then he's more worried about his urges than anything else, and I think he's avoiding killing completely maybe, or he's actively trying to avoid doing that kind of stuff. So then I think because of that, because his urge for blood is going to be stronger, then I wonder if maybe his Dark Passenger is going to make a return and try and push him to kill again, and push him to draw blood again and to see blood again. So maybe if Brian might return in that regard, if we might see him again, that would be interesting. So yeah, but I don't know. But either way, so he left Hannah and Harrison. He killed Deb. Deb went into critical after her operation, after her surgery, and she went into like a full on kind of, I think, like a comatose and brain dead kind of state. Like they said she wouldn't be able to think for herself or communicate. She wouldn't be able to eat properly. She wouldn't be able to interact in any kind of in intelligible ways and everything. So she'd be kind of stuck in like a completely kind of pretty much dead kind of state. And Dexter didn't want that for her, and especially didn't want that for her because of him. So then he snuck his way back into hospital and turned off her life support, and then took her body out into the sea and dumped it in the ocean. So Deborah is officially dead and dusted. So there's that. But yeah, no. That's pretty much. I think for the finale too. I think that's pretty much all there was. I think they brought the kind of Daniel Vogel stuff like to a neat enough kind of close. Like Dexter still managed to kill him, albeit this time out of vengeance and not in the fashion of the Code. So I'm curious as to see if any of the Code stuff is going to make a return in this, or if it's going to be solely Dark Passenger stuff. So that'll be fun to see. But yeah, I really don't know what else to say about this. I think it's just going to be interesting seeing how we return to the actual story, and how we return to Dexter, and seeing what Michael C. Hall actually does, and like if he returns to the character in the same way, or if Dexter's actually changed or evolved somehow, or like it's just like changed at all because he's pushed himself away from blood now. So seeing how he actually kind of struggles to cope with that should be interesting. But yeah, that is pretty much in terms of pre-spec, that's pretty much all I got. It doesn't really feel like a lot because it's focused on the finale, but I think yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. So yeah, this new one, Dexter, New Blood. Let's go. I think in terms of reaction to, I used to do reaction like for copyright shit because of how badly they took me down last time. I did used to do like the whole reaction link in the description. So this one I'm wondering maybe if the original if my original plan to actually include the reaction in this very same video doesn't work, then you can check the link and then there'll probably be a reaction link. Otherwise, then you can catch it as as normally as you would my other reactions and everything. So there's that. But then also this one will definitely be the fair use version for YouTube. But if you want the full length version, then that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go and check that one out over there. That'll be just as cool. But you will need your own copy of the episode to actually sync it up and everything. There'll be a little bit provided, and then like a timer to easily sync it up and everything as with all the full lengths. But that one will be over there, so you can catch that too. But Dexter New Blood. So season 9 episode 1. Let's see what it's all about. Oh, he's got goats and chickens. So he does have animals and pigs. He does have animals. He does indeed have animals. He has a farm. He has a farm. He's a farmer.
Are you ready for tonight?
Deborah's in his head. He killed her and now she's in his head. Oh, she's his new hallucination. Deborah Jennifer Carpenter's back. Oh, New Blood. Oh, I'm gonna miss the morning routine intro. Oh. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that was. I thought they were gonna do like an actual intro for a second, but no, just that. I'm gonna miss the morning routine intro, but I guess it's different for a reason.
There you go.
Omera from The Mandalorian.
Lindsay, huh?
Omera from The Mandalorian. And Leah from Twilight. Yeah. Good. Cool. Nice. I love her. Huh.
I'm gonna need you to step out of the vehicle, sir.
Oh, they're together. Oh.
You have the right to remain silent.
Oh, they're together.
If I want to, right?
Oh, I did not see this coming. Oh. Okay. Dexter's banging Omera. Oh. Okay, yeah, I did not see that coming. Angela Bishop. Damn. Okay, good for them. Good for them. Please don't let her die. Please. Dexter has not had the greatest history with love interests. Please do not let her die. Do not. I cannot stand to watch Omera or Leah die. I cannot. Oh, blood. Oh, that's a lot of blood. The first sight of blood, that is a lot of blood.
There you go.
Oh, he sharpens knives. So.
Wow. Hey, easy there. With a problem?
Well, yeah, you'll just randomly swing a knife around people.
I want a gun that's gonna make his one look like a super soaker.
Oh, so what, you want a machine gun then?
That one.
Well, don't tell me like an assault rifle. Oh, he wants an assault rifle. He wants a frickin' assault rifle.
I got a nice Christmas bonus at Morgan Stanley.
I haven't killed any animals since I was a teenager.
Speaking of my dad, he bought me my first rifle in this very store when I was 10. What the actual fuck, man?
It happens sometimes. It's just a 24-hour
Oh,
hold by the
he
FBI.
can't buy a
Checks on your
gun.
record.
Oh, it's on holding.
So,
Dude, just sell me the gun.
No can do.
follow procedure. Neither
can
of us
do.
want Fred to lose his business, right?
Sometimes you might even have a little fun.
Oh god, the look in his eyes. Oh, I've broken more rules than you can count, sunshine.
I bet his record is spotless. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe a few spots.
Oh,
Is there any
so not so
progress
spotless
on
then.
putting up that stop?
Until one of these women turns.
Is that a sheriff's badge on? Is that a sheriff's plaque on her shirt? Is that?
Yeah,
No, it's
my money's
Bishop.
on
Oh,
you.
name tag.
Line dancing tonight?
Is that a sheriff's badge?
Thought you'd appreciate seeing your girlfriend in something other than state-issued uniform.
You look cute in that uniform.
That's why I like you, Jim Lindsay.
Okay, they are actually really good together. Please do not separate them. Do not kill her. Don't let anything bad happen to her, please.
FBI gets backed up and half the flags clear automatically, and people fall through the cracks all the time.
Oh yeah, they definitely used to. And I guess still do.
Let's not talk about work. I'm sure your buds are gonna be really impressed with the size of your gun.
That joke not translating well.
This Eagle Scout loves his rules.
Taking the first bus out tomorrow. Just gotta make sure I got the fare.
Just runs a shelter just down the road.
I'm good. But wow. Thanks.
This is a good town. This is a friendly, open town. And I guess like small towns usually are, like, because they're small, everyone knows each other, everyone helps out, stuff. Oh no. Oh no. What's happening? Oh, they're watching Dexter? Oh god. I mean, even if he doesn't actually hunt anything, he at least gets like a good morning jog out of this. Yeah. At least get some exercise. Even though it's like freezing cold and stuff, like just looking at that makes me shiver.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, watcher. Someone's watching him. The same hooded figure, I think. Who was it? Wait, oh wait, I don't know. I don't even know if we can be sure that they're there to kill him, but maybe just actually trying to find him. No, still on hold. Still on hold. You can't get that gun.
Everyone's favorite petro-billionaire decided to close down the tavern for his annual board meeting.
My tuna sandwich is in there.
Poor baby. Don't you have a test today?
What good's math if people like Edward Olson destroy the planet?
I know that someone isn't getting their tuna sandwich anytime soon.
Oh god, okay. Does Audrey not like Dexter very much? Oh, it's him! Azazel from Supernatural! Okay, I already know not to trust him. I already know not to trust him. It's Azazel.
It's encouraging.
Okay, oh. Who in the hell? Again, Dexter, you gotta find out who they are. Dexter, you gotta find out who this is.
Matt Caldwell's been cleared. He wants the gun dropped off at his desk.
Ah, he's been cleared.
Really sell him that gun?
Man, that guy always has to one-up me.
Apparently so.
Bill, I was with Matt at the store. Right.
I've forgotten him already.
Some paperwork for him.
Just Dexter's. I pretend I did not see it. I pretend I did not see any of this. I am blind to crime.
You know what they call me?
Bill.
Bill.
Big face.
Okay, never mind.
Scar.
Oh yeah.
You know who never gets laid?
What?
Big face.
Bingo.
That seems incredibly improvisational for a name.
I lied at my trial so that he could go free and bang my girlfriend. Can't believe that I was. The other guy gave up.
And Matt just kept. And Matt just kept going. Matt just kept going.
And Matt just drove right fucking into him anyway.
Matt just really is the dodgiest of fuckers in this show so far. One episode in, and he's already this.
Please don't tell my dad.
I won't, Becca. If you leave right now.
Make better life choices, Becca. Much better than Matt Caldwell.
Oh, sweetheart, at last.
He is gonna get someone killed. He is going to get someone killed. Whoa. Oh.
You alright, Jim?
No, you imagine that.
Jim?
Yeah, he imagined that. Okay, he imagined that. Oh. Oh, someone's in his house. The hooded person. The hooded person. Who the fuck are you? Who in seven fucking hells are you?
It's me. Harrison.
Harrison.
Harrison!
Can't. Everyone close to you dies.
Harrison's back. Harrison found him.
But you look just like I remember.
Yeah, he
It's not one of those
does.
faces, I guess.
Oh, God. Harrison all grown up.
Sorry, I'm not the guy you're looking for.
Oh.
If you want to maybe try the town shelter.
He's come all this way and his dad fully just rejects him. He's come all this fucking way. Oh, poor Harrison. Oh god. Oh my god.
I hope you find whoever you're looking for.
You know he already has. And he knows he already has. And he knows you're lying in a really crappy way.
He'll be safer with Hannah.
We don't even know about Hannah. Oh, and he's burning the fucking photo. You're burnt. Okay, you could have at least kept that around. You didn't have to get rid of that. You could have at least kept that around. You kept that around for this long for a reason. We don't even know if Hannah's still alive. Maybe Hannah died, and that's why he came to find Dexter. Debo. Oh no. Oh no. The ghosts of your haunted past are they're haunting your nightmares. So? Oh no. Oh.
Please, 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 please.
Easy does it. Easy does it. Easy does it. Oh! Oh!
Bag me a white fucking buck. You see that, man? Holy shit. I almost tagged you, dude. Check this out. You see what I did there, Jim?
Oh, yeah, okay, now he goes for the real one. Now he goes for the real one. Oh, God, oh. Oh, Dex.
First rule of the code.
Oh.
Don't get caught.
Yeah, don't get caught. Oh, shit, yeah, bleeding the deer out. So what's he gonna do to not get caught? Well, is it gonna match the knife blood to the deer blood or no? No. Oh, he's gonna set up a kill room. He's setting up a kill room. He's setting up a kill room for the first time in 10 years. He didn't even do this in the finale. Oh, he's gonna kill Matt. He's gonna take out Matt, the rich guy's son. Oh, the blood slides. He's got the blood slides back again. Oh, he's got the blood slides. Oh, his first blood slide in 10 years. Matt Caldwell's blood. Oh. God. Oh, he's gonna traumatize this kid.
I'll fucking kill you.
Fucking execute me or some shit like that.
Wouldn't be the first time.
You think you can get away with that?
Again, not the first time.
Wait,
Yeah, the part where you were driving, the part where the other guy yielded, the part where you rammed him anyway, the part where 5 people died because of you.
all right. Please. You shot my deer! And you almost killed me! I promise.
Oh,
I'll never do
God.
anything like it again. My dad, he was never around. He was always working. I had a shitty childhood, okay?
You're blaming this on bad
He
parenting.
doesn't care. Dexter doesn't
It's
care.
true. It's not my fault, okay? I didn't have anyone. My dad, he is gonna destroy you. He knows everybody in this town. They love him. They would do anything for him. And when he finds out,
Do they love him or do they fear him? Because there's a very big difference.
and he is gonna rain down a world of pain on you, man. You have no idea what you're doing.
Like you said, life is short, dude.
Oh, God. Oh, here comes the blood. Here comes the blood.
Tonight's the night. Hello, Dexter Morgan.
Hello, Dexter Morgan. Tonight's the freaking night. Oh, God. So much nostalgia in like 10 to 15 minutes.
I may be a monster, but I'm an evolving monster.
Oh boy. That scene. Oh, that scene. Dexter is back. Fish. Oh, just dump it. Yeah, dump it under the ice. Dump it under the ice. Let the body parts freeze. Oh, back to chopping. Back to butchering. Back to butchering. Oh, back to butchering.
You know, after Miami,
He remembers. He remembers.
I could never get used to this damn cold.
You might want to tell. How are you going to explain this to Angie? And it's going based off the assumption that she knows anything about your past life, or based on what you've actually told her.
My father protected me, taught me, kept me alive. And that's exactly what I'm going to do for my son.
And he's got a little greenhouse too. I think he's got like a little greenhouse. Oh. Oh, damn. Oh. Okay, well, I like these closing credits. And the music, I love that. I'm liking that. I'm very much liking that. Jeff Lindsay, yeah, so, yeah. So, Jim Lindsay, that name is, yeah, so, yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. That, you know what, I feel like that was actually a pretty solid premiere. I personally feel like that was actually a pretty solid premiere. It really drew me in, and it really managed to kickstart something new, and actually managed to kickstart something that I was, like, a good amount interested in. Like it wasn't like the most, like, up until the ending, it wasn't really the most energetic thing, but it definitely felt like a lot more like build up and slow burn, and the final kind of like for I think not just for the sake of having some action or drama, but I think for the end of it actually just kind of showcasing Dexter finally breaking down. The ending for that sake actually for that purpose actually seemed like fairly appropriately dramatic and high, very high, tension, and very dramatic in that sense. So for the most part, a lot of it felt like more like laying down some kind of foundations and some kind of slow burny kind of elements, but still like really enjoyable stuff. Like for me, I actually really enjoyed like a lot of the different kind of new world elements that they actually built up, and new story elements that they crafted and everything. So that's really fun. So he's now James Lindsay. And I think I actually did read somewhere. I think because they even mentioned that name in the trailer, and I think someone actually I think it was in the comments. Someone actually pointed out that what's it called? The author of the actual original Dexter books actually did. He was called, his last name was Lindsay. His last name was, I think his name was Jeff Lindsay. I think his name might have been Jeff Lindsay. So I think him, and I think James was also the name of like another person involved with Dexter. I think someone pointed out that that Jeff Lindsay was the author of the books that the show is based on, but I think one of the original showrunners involved in the first show was actually called James something else. So it's like an amalgamation of both of their names mixed into one. So like James and Lindsay. So I think it's like the kind of homage to both of those kind of creators and everything. So that's really cool. So he is James Lindsay. James Lindsay, and they brought Deborah back. They brought Deborah back. They brought Jennifer Carpenter as Deborah back. She honestly, right, she doesn't look like she's aged a day since season 8. She doesn't look like she has aged a day since season 8. Dexter, Michael C. Hall, on the other hand, he definitely aged, but he also doesn't look that bad. He also really doesn't look that old. He doesn't look terrible. He doesn't really look like he's aged beyond acting ability or beyond recognition. Like, I think he did do, I think between this and the Dexter finale, he actually did do like another kind of another limited run series on Netflix called Safe, which I think I caught the trailer for a couple of times. It looked kind of okay. It looked like vaguely interesting, but he did that project between this and the original Dexter, between this and the original Dexter, and I think if you go to that one too, you can definitely tell then, like, like that one took place like a good few years after the Dexter finale. So I think that would have been the first kind of like back when that came out, that would have been the first glimpse for people that Dexter's really, Michael C. Hall has aged, and he's actually still aging and everything. But I think even this one, he still doesn't really look that bad. I think that they can use makeup and stuff to actually cover up like more noticeable parts, but I think they've still kind of left enough of his original self behind to actually to signify some kind of time passing and everything. So he still doesn't look that bad. But I think again, Jennifer Carpenter, she just hasn't. I think for her could also just as easily be makeup too. But for her, she just hasn't aged a day since season 8. So just wow. But yeah, Deborah is his new passenger. Like I think she is not his dark passenger per se, because I think she actively discouraged the killing. towards the end, she actively discouraged the killing and everything. But she's also, I think, she also is there to kind of like encourage him like during the day and in the mornings to just kind of follow his daily routine and to keep it up and to try and stay sane in this routine and to try and like actually keep going and ignore the blood and ignore the urges and everything. So I think she's like a new type of passenger. She's like a new type of passenger. So I think this one, she feels more like a neutral passenger. She feels like somewhat more like a neutral passenger, actually like a neutral passenger, actually encouraging him to actually kind of stick to his new schedule, stick to his new routine, actually do anything that would actually avoid him coming into contact with killing, with the act of killing, or even coming into contact with blood and everything. So I think, you know, with Harry, would have Obi-Wan Harry would have encouraged him to stick to the code to kill, because then that would to actually give in to his urges would be the only way to satiate them, but then also do it in the right way and to actually abide by the code. But then if it was the dark passenger like Brian, he would be like, you know, just go crazy, kill anyone you want to kill. This is who you are. This is what you are, and stuff. But with Deborah, she is encouraging and supporting and trying to motivate his own sobriety. So he it's actually his own, like, you know, like the way that they're all different manifestations of the rules and of the different kind of psychological states instilled into him. Deborah is the kind of version of herself and himself that he remembers, like the side of him that actively wants to push him to keep going. Like she's the mental kind of manifestation of that. So yeah, having Jennifer back to play Deborah in that regard is very interesting. I think she had very, very minimal screen time in this episode. I feel like I think it was mostly at the beginning and at the end, like very little few kind of glimpses in the middle. But I think mostly in the beginning and the end, she had very minimal screen time. But I think that is like deliberate to begin with. To begin with it's deliberate, and it's to show that, you know, like to begin with he doesn't really have that much trouble at all. He has his routine, he sticks to it, and because of that it helps him, and he, you know, lives this life and he lives in this new town. So because of that, the urges are that much more kind of under control, but then he still has her in his corner at home just to kind of keep her there and everything. So yeah, Deb is back mentally, only possibly mentally. So yeah. So he is James Lindsay. He is Jim, and he lives in Iron Lake. He lives in Iron Lake in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know what kind of state that is. I think, you know, Pacific Northwest, I think, is just more like a kind of regional, directional kind of things. I don't know exactly what state he lives in, but it's a small town. It's a pretty small town. Like I think you know, like towns that small too. It's like I think it's not even just it's not even just like a stereotype or like a trope presented in the media, but I feel like because it like the very concept of a small town means that it's actually that much easier for everyone to know each other and for everyone to be that much more connected and everything. So it's actually, you know, accurate to actually see people actually being more social and actually saying hi and popping in to see each other in various ways and everything. So with this one, it's very, very representative of that too. And he's friendly, like, you know, like Dexter as Jim Lindsay. He is friendly, he's open, he's still doing his thing. He's buying donuts, he's buying baked goods for everyone, and he's still popping in and saying hi and, you know, being the cool kind of guy who runs the hunting game shop and everything. So he's connected, he's social, he's friendly. You know, everything that used to be a cover for Dexter, everything used to be a cover. But I mean, technically, this life is also still a cover because he is really Dexter Morgan. He comes from Miami and everything. But I think, you know, I think fact of the matter probably is that he hasn't told anyone that side of his story. So it does make me wonder. It does make me really curious to know what he actually did tell them, because I think it's fairly hard for him to move to an entirely new town without crafting up some kind of fairly intricate backstory. So I'm really curious. I'm really curious as to what he did tell them, and like if he did manipulate the events in some way, or if he actually did try and include some truth from before. But either way, it's this is his new life now. I think also because of the fact that he's actively not killing in any way. Like, he doesn't even hunt deer. Like, his morning routine, he goes for a jog in the very, very snowy and icy forest, and he actually just kind of like, you know, like almost admires the deer through the lens, but he never pulls the trigger, never fires off a single shot. Does make me wonder though. Does make me wonder, like, if the gun's even loaded, because he never fires it. I think. Does he test his own ability to not kill by actually loading the gun, or does he actually take away the temptation by not loading the gun? I think that's a really interesting kind of question to ask too. I think it's if he does put the bullet in, that would be the ultimate test, and it would be like a good, like for him, maybe for him personally, it would be a good way to test his sobriety, actually putting a gun in, but then constantly testing his ability to not pull the trigger, to not commit the kill. But then if he takes the bullet out, then he has that much less to worry about, and he knows he doesn't have the power to actually do that anymore, and he's actively leaving that power behind and everything. So I'm wondering if the gun is actually you know, like loaded or anything, because I think we never really see him pulling the front kind of, you know, thing back, like I think it's called like I think on rifles it's called like a crocket or something, or like a cocket or something. So he never like reloads the gun or like actually clicks it back in any way. He just kind of like, the only thing he touches is the actual scope to zoom in and out on the actual deer. But I think he sometimes has his hands on the trigger too. So you know, he does that, but then he never actually pulls it. He never pulls it. Just kind of admires the thing through the lens. So. Yeah, so then again, like for the most part, like, you know, he does have his very, very kind of strict kind of morning routine, his new morning routine, like they don't even have the morning routine intro anymore, they don't have that, but they have the end credits, with the music, and I think it's just like it's like a flashier one now too, like, you know, before it just used to be text on like a background, but now it's actually a bit more cinematic, and it's actually against like an actual visual effect panel, and it's got like some cool kind of stuff to it. So I think, and then they brought the music back, they brought the blood theme back. They just, so much nostalgia. They even like, I finished the original series like 2 weeks ago, and even for me there's nostalgia. Even for me there's actually nostalgia. So I can only imagine how the people who finished this years and years back and have been waiting since the announcement are feeling now. So do let me know what you thought of all the nostalgia in this. So there's that. So he lives what used to have, like, he lives what would have been a cover life way back when, now as his actual real life. He doesn't do any killing. He lives his life as a normal citizen, and he's got a girlfriend. And the girlfriend is Angela Bishop. I don't know if she's a sheriff or not, because I think she had a badge, but I don't know if it was specifically a sheriff's badge, or if she was like a deputy or something, maybe, because I think we didn't really see any other kind of bosses there that she was actually reporting to. She just kind of had her own office, and she went in and stuff, and she had like the really big flashy kind of shielded kind of badge. So I don't know if that's more of like a deputy badge, if it's more of a deputy badge, or if it's still like a sheriff badge or something. But she's a cop, she's a police officer. So that opening surprised me too, like doing a kind of search thing, and then all of a sudden they're making out, and then they're also doing it in the back of the police car, in the back of her police car. So they are together, and yeah, she is. I think I looked this up like a week ago, because I think it was only recent, like fairly recently. It was only fairly recently, or like not too recently, that I actually. Because I was thinking about O'Mara, right? I was thinking about O'Mara on The Mandalorian and how badass she is and how much I love her. But then I could actually picture her face so vividly. I could picture, like without looking it up, I could actually picture her face so vividly that I remembered her face from somewhere else. I was like, wait, I know that face from somewhere. So then I actually had to go into Google to type in to actually look up her Mandalorian character, and then I actually saw her face more clearly, and I was like, that has got to be Leah from Twilight. That has got to be Leah Clearwater from Twilight. That has got to be. And you know, I think I haven't watched all the Twilight movies. I haven't watched all the Twilight movies. I think I've seen the first one, New Moon. I think I've probably watched all of them except Eclipse. I think I've watched all of them except for Eclipse. I never got round to, and I never really bothered to watch Eclipse. I just kind of saw the first two just for the sake of it, and then the last two were like, you know, like kind of like finale levels of hype, because they are like the last ones in the series. I thought, oh, I'll probably check those out too, and then Leah came along, and I was like, god damn, just destroy me. So yeah, and I think it never even struck me watching The Mandalorian. It never struck me that she was the same person watching The Mandalorian. I think even watching The Mandalorian, like, she was displayed as a really badass character and everything. So I was just like, again, destroy me with that gun. Your sharpshooting skills are on point, so just destroy me with the gun. So it was only like not so recently I was actually remembering O'Mara from The Mandalorian, and then the face again, so vivid. I actually remembered it, so then I actually had to look it up, and and kind of cross-referencing. I was like, oh yeah, that is definitely the same woman. She plays Leah Clearwater. I'm actually going to look up the actress's name just so I'm aware of it. I need to look up the actress's name just so I'm aware of it. What's her name? Julia Jones, I think. Is it Julia Jones? Julia Jones, yeah. Julia Jones. Yeah. Yeah, is it? I think, yeah, Julia Jones. So, yeah, she is Leah Clearwater in Twilight, and she's also Amara in The Mandalorian. And now she is Angela Bishop in Dexter New Blood, and she is Dexter Morgan's lovely girlfriend and everything, and stuff, and they sometimes have fun. She just kind of, catches him out when he's driving, and she pulls him over, and then they, get down to, some adult fun time in the back of the squad car. So they, they seem to like each other, and they seem to have fun, and there seems to be like an already kind of already well established relationship too. So it's good to know that. But then as soon as she shows up, for one thing, I love the actress. For another thing, the character also seems so great. All the way, like first episode in, the character already seems kind of understandably great, and she's also Dexter's love interest. So the request here could not be more loud and clear. The request I'm making could not be louder, and it could not be clearer. Do not kill her, please don't kill her. Please do not make her the one that we lose in the light of Dexter's kind of urges and his murderous acts resurfacing now. Like, please do. I think even before that happened, I was like, just don't take her away. Please don't let her live. Let her live and let her be the great character that she is throughout this entire series, however long it is. Just give us like a character we can love and let us keep her. Give us a character we can love and let us keep her. That is all. Literally all I ask. Let us keep her. Let us keep her. So yeah. And she's also a mother too. She's a mother. I think her daughter's name was Audrey. I think her name was Audrey. So she's like a single mother, and unarguably a great one at that too. She's raised a daughter who actively protests for important causes and everything, and she cares about the world around her and stuff. So job accomplished, mission accomplished. So yeah, let us keep her, please. Do not take her away from us in any shape or form. So yeah, Leah Clearwater. I was so afraid, right? Because for one thing, Dexter, Dexter can't be Dexter without some kind of killer to oppose. So I was like, oh god, like a killer's gonna make it back into the fray, and she's gonna be the first one to go, or she's gonna be one of them to go at some point. So still holding out hope. It's only the first episode, so still holding out hope. Still holding out hope and being cautious and hoping that she survives. But then also the fact that Dexter has not had the greatest history with any woman who has been into him. He has not had the greatest history. I mean, even Hannah, we've yet to know what her story was. But then even his time with Hannah was well spent. Like Hannah was the only one. Hannah and Rita were the except. Yeah, no. Well, Hannah and I think in terms of people being suitable for him, or people that he tried to make it work with, Hannah, Rita, and Lumen were the kind of exceptions. Can't remember if there was anyone else, but I think Hannah, Rita, and Lumen were like the big three ones that really kind of struck him in a positive way. Like Rita, eventually he grew to accept her in more ways than one, and they got married and had a kid and had a family and everything. So I think that was a fairly long-lasting kind of ship. Lumen also like he kind of gradually fell in love with, and she fell in love with him and stuff. But then her dark passenger left, so then she had to leave too. So there was that. And then Hannah was the only other one with like serial killer tendencies to her, and like a serial killer history to her too that he was attracted to. And she also didn't really repel him or be deterred from him. So that kind of that kind of drew him to her even more. So Hannah is the only other kind of success story that he has when it comes to romance. So please, I think that's what makes it kind of all the more kind of cautious and daunting with Leah too. The fact that she likely doesn't have the history that he does, and she's like a genuinely nice and normal and non kind of murdery or like non dark kind of person. But then he has this entire history behind him that he highly likely has not told anyone about. So in that sense, he's leaving a cover, and he's leaving it with her. So, yeah. And then, yet another, not necessarily a familiar face, but a familiar character, because I highly doubt I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Absolutely, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on this. But I do highly doubt that they actually did bring the exact same actor back for Harrison, because because if they did, then he really doesn't he doesn't remind me of him like that much at all. And I think he did like Harrison definitely used to be blonde too. And I think this kid isn't even like a dirty blonde, but he's like full on like brunette. So like even Dexter has actually somewhat managed to maintain his own hair color. So I think this one for some reason they've gone for a full on brunette guy to play older Harrison. But yeah, Harrison's back. Harrison Morgan's back. I think. Truth be told, right? After the first couple of times, I did. I think in you heard me in the reaction. I did point out that jumping to the conclusion of killer felt like a bit too much like jumping to a conclusion. I think it's easy to immediately assume that you see like a hooded figure getting off a bus and headed to Iron Lake, which is where Dexter now lives, and is a hooded figure with a bag and everything, so it looks suspicious. I think it's easy to jump from that point to killer fairly quickly and everything. But then after the first couple of actual kind of glimpses and everything, it's okay, this person actually, I think, for one thing, it they don't look particularly murderous, but then they also don't really look like they're actually out to kill anyone. So there's that, and then also okay, having a killer straight off the bat, this would be kind of maybe a bit too on the nose, because I think the first episode's objective is clearly to show Dexter trying to live a normal life without killing. So then actually offering him up a fresh kind of plate of opportunity like that would just be a bit too on the nose. So then all those things combined meant, okay, so maybe this person is a killer. So then deep down, I really didn't want to say anything, because on the one hand, it's I think it was honestly less about jinxing it and more just actually kind of trying to keep myself kind of open to the chance of being surprised by it. I didn't want to say it out loud oh, maybe what if it's Harrison, but then in the back of my head it was a lingering thought okay, it's been years. This would be a pretty good kind of plot twist, or a pretty good kind of character return to pull off. What if it really is Harrison? What if after all these years he's actually tried to track Dexter down? 10 years later he would be much older, and he'd probably be much more mature now as well. He'd probably either seek Dexter out himself, or he'd probably kind of look up some leads or something. So what if it actually is? What if it really is Harrison? And especially given that the kid that by the end of it was I feel like it really could be Harrison, but by the end of it, because he got into his house, he wasn't really waiting there with any weapons or any kind of trap or anything. He just kind of got in, and he was sifting through Dexter's mail and everything, so he was trying to find a clue and stuff. So I think in the back of my head, I was thinking, oh god, okay, there's a good chance it could be Harrison, but then also please be Harrison, please be that would be the one of the best kind of reveals and returns that they could do. 10 years later his son shows up out of the blue again, and it's revealed that he's actually tracked him down, he's found him and everything, so shows some great intuitiveness and research on his son's part. So there's that. So yeah, so I didn't want to say anything out loud to keep myself kind of surprised, so at least semi-surprised when it happened. So it was still a good reveal. It was still a really kind of fun reveal to see, and to see him there, and him having finally found his dad. But then of course his father, Dexter, then immediately seeing Deborah's ghost in front of him too, he's then subconsciously reminding himself of everyone he has lost, because of the fact that they've known about who he really was. So Dokes, one of the first people being Dokes, and then Rita and Deborah now too. I think Deborah's one too. Deborah's reveal was easily the more creepy one. Actually pulling her shirt up and still kind of showing off that bullet wound, and actually being able to pull the bullet out too, and being me, your own sister. So you left Harrison and Hannah to protect them, to keep them away from your secret, to keep them away from your life. You left them to protect them, so now don't immediately go kind of backtracking on that and just suddenly embracing your son just because he shows up out of the blue. I mean, that. I mean, that is ideally what you're meant to do. Harrison traveled all that way to try and meet his dad, who he probably thought left him or abandoned him in some way, and now he's found him and he still doesn't want to have anything to do with him. So it's just gotta be a heartbreaking thing, for Harrison to deal with too. So Harrison, he's grown. He's I think he must be a teenager now too. So I think he's fairly old. He's fairly old. He can travel on his own. He found Dexter all the way out here. So there's that. But yeah, Harrison is back. Harrison Morgan is back in living color. So there's that, but then yeah, like that scene as a whole, just the way that scene ran, like just immediately being like almost like initially kind of being recognized by Dexter, and then even his line, even Harrison's line really kind of drives home like how long it's been, but then also like how like much the same Dexter is. Like, you know, he hasn't changed at all. Like he still has the same kind of like near enough the same appearance, but then for Harrison it's like, you know, you look just what I remember you like, and you look just like how I remember you and everything. And I think initially, I mean, yeah, I think he even had like I think he even the photo was in. Even the photo was in the drawer, so I think I mean, I was gonna question like whether or not Harrison actually brought that with him as a sign, like he was actually following that photo, and he was trying to find the obviously the guy, the dad in that photo. But then afterwards I was like maybe like, did he leave it behind, or maybe was it a picture in Dexter's kind of drawer that was already in there that Dexter himself put there, and then that was already confirmed to Harrison that, you know, oh, Dexter Morgan lives here, and he still has his picture of him and his son and everything. So I don't know which one it was, but either way, he destroyed the picture. So I mean, you know. I mean, based on the ending, I think it's basically because of the fact that because of the fact that by the end of it, he does then decide to actually go after his son and actually opts to bring him home instead. But yeah, no, like he still destroys that picture. So I think also probably like it comes from a time when he still used to do this. So I think it's like seeing that picture from back then too, back during a time when he was a completely different man. He was Dexter Morgan still, and he was still a serial killer and everything. So I think it's also a picture from a different time, a time that he's actually fought hard to avoid and to actually kind of avoid revisiting. So I think it might have been more that than anything else. But then also seeing a picture of him and Harrison together during that time probably reminds him of exactly why he came out here and why he actually left Hannah and Harrison behind in the first place. Like he left Harrison behind in his eyes to protect him. So then keeping around a photo like that probably wouldn't really kind of help too much either. So. But by the end of it, he does bring him home. By the end of it, he does track him down again. He does bring him home. So again, that's something he's going to need to explain to Angela. He's going to need to explain to Angela why there's this kind of kid living in his home all of a sudden. I think, and again, it makes me all the more curious as to what kind of a cover story he's built up for Iron Lake, and to see like what he's told them, what he's told Angela, what he's told the townspeople, and what kind of a history he's built up to. Like if he does mention like a family from before, or what's gonna happen. I think, and he might lie and it's like, oh, it's just like he's my sister's kid, or he's my, you know, some other kind of like relative or something that's going to be staying with him for a few days or something. So he might lie, and then Harrison might have to go along with that lie just to keep everything safe. So I think again, it's going to be a very different and I think having Harrison there too, I'm curious as to how much he knows. Like if he's come here, I think what's happened to Hannah. Like maybe is Hannah still around? Like did Hannah let him go? Did Hannah actually let him go and let him find Dexter, or did Hannah die and now Dexter is all he has left, or what happened in that regard? And I think if maybe if Hannah actually told him anything before he left, maybe if Hannah did reveal the truth to him and did tell him about what his father really was and what his father really did, maybe he came to Dexter to actually search up that truth himself. Like maybe that's why he tracked down Dexter, to actually discover that truth himself, like to actually ask him, are you a serial killer? Did you do all this stuff and this, that, and the other? So then, you know, like maybe in this Dexter will have to deal with a version of Harrison that actually knows what he is and what he's done and what he's been and everything. So you have to deal with that, and we'll see exactly how Harrison reacts, if it's positive, negative, neutral, or something. And if he does lie about Harrison's kind of true nature in this as well, then Harrison's gonna have to try and actually play along with that kind of ruse as well. So there's definitely that. And then the douchebag of this one episode, we had Matt Caldwell, who was the son. I can't remember what his name. I think he was the son of the Caldwell senior dude, but I can't remember what his actual name was. I think he was just like, he was essentially like the kind of rich kind of dude of the town. He had money. He wasn't afraid to flaunt it. And he, you know, was doing things. He was, conducting business activities and then doing things that would actually harm the climate, and harm the town, and harm the people, and harm the climate and everything, and harm the world around him. So he was pretty much like exactly like one of those kind of elitist kind of rich corporates who don't really care what happens so long as they have money, and then they put on like a facade of caring and everything. So he's that, and I think he's played, I don't know what the actor's name is, but he is played by the exact same guy who played Azazel in Supernatural. He played the yellow-eyed demon in Supernatural. So, not to say that that's why he's playing the villain in this, but, because of, past experience, I already known to kind of feel kind of weary and cautious about him in this. So, yeah, he is Caldwell Senior. So Matt from the get-go, Matt just kind of seemed like that overly kind of cocky dude. I think he definitely. I think as time goes on, and as you realize who he is, and as he reveals who he really is, that he's the son of the kind of one rich dude in the entire town. You do kind of get that vibe from him that it's like, oh, he can do whatever he wants, and his daddy's gonna pay his kind of bills out for him. He's gonna bail him out. He's gonna cover for him. He's gonna pay off lawyers or interrogators or whatever. So he's kind of used to he's very much used to the life of actually not only of actually screwing up, but then also having his father actually covering his tracks and actually helping him cover up from the incidents and everything. So there's that, and he's also like really cocky even with his own friends and then with other people. Like he always has to one up people, and he always has to come out on top too. Unless he's banging someone, then he's perfectly happy being under them. But no, he always has to one up someone. He always has to come out on top in that regard, and he has to always kind of like be the better person and be the best person and everything. So it doesn't really bode well with Bill, who's just trying to do his thing, and then he brings home like some pretty girls, and then all of a sudden Matt's like seducing them and he's doing stuff with them. So Bill pretty much seems like the kind of tormented kind of best friend who he took the fall. He covered for Matt during the whole boating accident thing, and he covered for him, and I think he's kind of like getting money to. I think he's getting like he said like he's getting like $2,000 a week or something to actually keep quiet or to help continue covering it up or something. Like Matt's father made a deal with him to actually keep quiet and to cover it up, and then he'll kind of get like a hefty kind of bonus sum to help support that kind of cover up. So he's getting money, and he's like obviously if word gets out, then that money stops coming. So he asked Dexter to kind of keep it between them, but Bill again, like not just for the sniffing, the kind of cocaine usage, but also like the his kind of speech about how Matt is always trying to one up them, and he's always trying to be the superior ones, and I think that kind of dynamic works especially between him and Bill too. Like Bill is kind of seen like in his eyes, Bill is kind of seen as like the lesser best friend who brings home all the pretty girls, and then Matt kind of does his thing, and he kind of is the king of the castle essentially. So, or the prince in this case. So they have like a very rocky relationship, and then Bill is just tormented. He just kind of wants to have the chance to like win himself and to be himself and stuff, but then those victories are stolen away by Matt, so he is a very angry kind of best friend. So yeah, but Matt, he's just dodgy. Like from the get-go, he was dodgy from the get-go. Like as soon as he walked into the shop, and he was demanding like the flashiest, most like kind of the he wanted his gun to be bigger than Bill's and everything. Like he wants everything. He has to be bigger than Bill's and to be bigger than everyone else's. So he demanded the flashiest, coolest, and kind of best kind of gun in the shop, which just so turned out to be an assault rifle too. So there's that. But then of course Dexter is following the appropriate procedures and the appropriate kind of codes of conduct, and he is conducting that kind of thorough FBI federal kind of background check and everything, which should go with everyone who buys a gun. So he's conducting that, and then Matt has not been a good boy. He's been a very naughty boy. He's been the naughtiest of naughty boys, in the most negative of ways. And he's got like a pretty spotted kind of history too, as the other police officer in the station actually found out. He actually does have a few spots here and there, and I think the most notorious one is the boating accident too, so I'll get to that soon. But yeah, I mean, Matt just did genuinely, I think, especially in the shop, he seemed like the kind of guy who just kind of like breaks rules, and he knows he can get out of them because his dad's rich, and he'll pay him, he'll pay him out. But then his mentality is like, if you don't break the rules every now and then you'll never know, you'll never know how to have fun. But then he's having way too much fun because he's breaking the rules like as often as he possibly can, because everything he ever wants to do is breaking the rules, and it's actually like against like the system and everything. So yeah. But yeah, and he desperately wanted that gun, and I mean, seeing him playing around with a knife, I mean, who does that? Like, I mean, even that display, I feel like it might have been like a bit on the nose for Matt himself, but then I think it's simultaneously on the nose, but also like a pretty kind of good enough representation of exactly who Matt is. Like, he plays around, he messes around, it's all in the name of jokes and laughs to him. But still, who does like he gets a knife and he immediately waves it around carelessly, like dangerously close and carelessly to Dexter's face, and then he's like, "Oh, what's the matter? It's just a knife. It's not like it's gonna cut you open and bleed you dry or anything, because it's just a knife. Knives don't do that," and everything. Just that whole thing, and then like his kind of nonchalantness towards just pretty much everything. Like he doesn't really think that anything that can hurt other people can hurt him, and he doesn't really care about hurting other people because again he did it before and he got bailed out. So I think I'm probably gonna have to go back and actually watch that scene again to get the full story. But I think he probably did challenge some guy to like a boating accident or something, to a boating kind of race or something, or he did actually try and like one up some guy who was out boating on the same water as him. Then the guy actually yielded and he actually turned back anyway, but then Matt just had to still kind of try and get his pseudo message across, and he deliberately rammed the guy's boat and ended up actually getting 5 people killed. And I don't know if that was actually 5 people on his boat or 5 people on the guy's boat, but then either way 5 people died and stuff, and he was in major trouble for that. But then of course Bill, as he said, he covered for him, and he I think because he originally told Matt to slow down and actually calm down and everything, but then Matt being Matt, he didn't really believe in calmness, he didn't really believe in slowing down, so he just kept on going. So then Bill covered for him, and I think that's where like the money is coming in from, like his dad kind of paying him and everything. So yeah, and also also another point where I didn't want to say it out loud. I did not want to say it. I wanted to leave it as a lingering thought in the back of my head. The scene with the deer. That scene with the deer was too good to be true. That was way too good to be true. The one time Dexter actually manages to actually get the deer, and Dexter actually decides to interact with the deer. He doesn't just like admire it from afar. He actually decides to interact with the deer, and then the one time he actually gets the deer close to him, and he lures it in, and he actually gets to like a moment of bliss and peace with another creature of nature and everything. And it's a beautiful thing, and then bang, a gunshot. It was way too good to be true. It was way too good to be true. I think in the back of my mind, there was a voice saying something's gonna happen, and I bet you it's gonna be Matt putting that gun to what he thinks is good use. It's gonna be Matt using that gun now in the forest hunting, and it's gonna be what he thinks is putting it to good use, and then him being all cocky about it and everything. So beforehand, Dexter visualized using the gun to actually knock him out cold, or at least actually break his nose in his bedroom, but then that was just a kind of a mind thing to keep him occupied and to actually kind of keep him mentally satiated. But then this time he's gone too far. This time he killed an innocent creature, a beautiful innocent animal, and now Dexter decided that he must pay the price. So he then did do exactly that. He did actually. He took his own gun. And he just bopped him over the nose with it. And then that time he actually went down cold. So there was that, and then I think he reiterated the first rule of the code, and he actually said rule 1 of the code, don't get caught. So I think I don't know exactly how that lines up with this, because I think he slit open, he used the knife that he sold to Matt to actually slit open the throat of the deer and to bleed it out, and actually to get some of the blood to spread out. So then I don't know, and then he planted that same knife back into the kind of holster on Matt's belt. So I don't know exactly what kind of trail or like what kind of evidence that would leave behind that would actually lead away from him and his and then the kind of ensuing death that he would inflict upon Matt. But I guess we'll find out. I don't know. Maybe that he I don't know, because I think he still chopped him up in the end. He still chopped him up in the end. I think he got rid of his clothes. I don't know if he left his clothes somewhere, or if he actually like if he actually left his clothes hidden behind somewhere as a case of evidence. Because I think that the blood, he wiped it on the actual trousers, and he put the knife with still enough blood back into the holster too. So he could, I think, if they find those clothes and if they find that knife, then they could easily still kind of tie it back to Matt and him having killed the deer. But then I don't know how it worked, but I think either way he reinstilled that first rule of the code, so that was nifty. And then after 10 years of sobriety, and after 10 years of actually not having killed a single living soul, he finally gets back into his other routine. He puts together a very, very makeshift. I think it's been 10 years, so he is rusty. He admits it. It's been a while. It's been a while, so he's rusty. But he puts together in 10 years his first kill room with the plastic sheeting and the taping and everything, and the apron and everything. So he's got that. I think he still is like somewhat able to use his all new kind of tool bag of knives to still get the job done. So he does still have like a fairish kind of amount of knives to actually try and do this job. So that's kind of advantageous on his end. So he sets Matt up, and I think that whole scene, like the way that scene ran, like Dexter, like Michael C. Hall and the kid who played Matt too, just nailed it. They nailed it. They really raised the tension and the drama through the roof. They really kind of brought out the madness and the anger and the kind of, the equally expressive and equally kind of energetic emotions out in each other and in themselves. So they really made that scene what it was. That was like a really kind of good scene to actually top off the end of the episode, to show that Dexter's now slowly reverting back into his old self and everything. Like that whole scene, and like the dialogue too. The dialogue, as expected, was really witty. Dexter reassuring him that like not only is he a serial killer, but he's actually done this before, and he's been he's actually escaped before too. So killing him and getting away with it will not be his first rodeo. It will not be like a overly difficult task. So he's got that kind of stuff. And I mean, even like Matt kind of went like different-ish kind of routes to try and survive too. Like him initially blaming on bad parenting, like he lost his mother when he was 8 years old, so his dad is all that he's ever known. But then his dad is his dad. His dad is kind of like never. I think he's like never truly around, and even when he's around, it's like just not really anything special. And I think we've seen his dad too. His dad kind of isn't really kind of seen positively by at least by like the kind of teens and kind of more like more young adults of the town. Either like actively they are actively protesting his actions and the kind of harmful after effect his actions have on the community and on the world around them and everything. So his dad isn't really seen as the best of people in general. So thinking straight back to that sass of Audrey just kind of like slowly emptying the coffee cup that he kind of bought all of them, or at least hers, emptying her coffee cup kind of smoothly and swiftly onto the floor, and just like for the briefest of seconds you can see in his eyes like the anger of like him cursing and like him yelling profanities in his head and swearing to end her and to destroy her and all that kind of shit, but then actually putting that behind him and actually being like, you know what, you're a strong fighter and I admire that. So let's just leave it at that before I say something I regret. So so that's Matt's dad. But then even then Dexter doesn't really kind of get phased, or he doesn't really kind of care about that. Like, oh really, you're blaming your your urge to commit murderous stuff just to get away with it, like on bad parenting and negligence and all that kind of stuff. I mean, negligence can lead to it, but then I think Dexter has always still kind of been the kind of person to believe that you can make your own choices. So it's your responsibility and your responsibility alone to make sure that it's the right choices and to not harm other people by when you're making those choices. So because of that, like he wouldn't really fully accept that as much of reasons. I think and then when all else fails, when all other kind of arguing methods fail, he just kind of goes straight to insulting Dexter and calling him a psychopath and a killer and crazy and all that kind of stuff, and telling him to go fuck himself and promising him that his dad will destroy him because he's the richest and most popular dude there is. So he's he tried the begging and pleading, and then when that didn't work, he reverted right back to aggression and cockiness and death threats and everything. So yeah, and then Dexter drove drove a knife right through his heart. So that is the end of Matt Caldwell. So fair to say he won't be too missed, if at all. He won't be too missed if at all. But yeah, no, Dexter's his first kill in 10 years, and then he actually went the full way too. He actually chopped up the body and put them in bags, and he, he doesn't necessarily have like an entire ocean floor to himself now, but he does still have ice, and ice is gonna pretty much like preserve them, preserve the body parts under the water. So that's gonna be a very, very kind of like interesting touch of nostalgia, even if it's unintentional, but still, it could work. And then, yeah, so that's the end of Matt Caldwell. So, yeah. See, I mean, I think overall, I think there were kind of little different kind of hints of referencing and hints of nostalgia in this episode. I think I'm gonna have to go back and actually watch a couple of them. But I think for the most part, it's like, like him, did like different lines here and there that he said. I'm way too tired to actually remember them now, but I think different lines he had in response to character dialogue and him kind of even internally actually kind of remembering and referencing things from before, and him making snide remarks in comment form in response form to different things, actually kind of highlight different kind of highlights from the old show and to that kind of past life of his. So seeing those kinds of points of nostalgia in the episode was very interesting. So that was really fun. That was cool. But yeah, I think that is pretty much all I really have. That's pretty much all I really have, or all I've really written down. All the noteworthy things I can really think of. Other tidbits might be here and there. But overall, still a really enjoyable episode. I think a really kind of a pretty solid season kind of premiere, a pretty good solid series premiere. Really interesting kind of return and a start to Dexter's new story, and to seeing where he actually starts off and how he's doing and everything, with some new kind of ploys coming into place in this story, and to see how it all continues and everything. So yeah, definitely looking forward to actually exploring this new series with you all, and seeing how it pans out, and exactly how it might continue the story of Dexter. For one, I mean, I presume this is the only season they've got planned. I think I don't know if they're actually going to try and renew this for another one, depending on the ratings and the actual kind of feedback for this season, or if this is the only one that they're planning on doing ever. But yeah, no, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I mean, Michael C. Hall has definitely still got it. Michael C. Hall has definitely still got it as Dexter Morgan. That final scene proved it, that he's definitely still got it as Dexter Morgan. And even in this case, as Jim Lindsay. So he's still got it. So I think it'd definitely be interesting to see how his murderous kind of days catch up to him in the coming episodes, and how his murderous habits and his murderous kind of abilities catch up to him and actually start haunting him. So it'll be fun to see how different things progress from there. And very excited to see Angela. I'm very excited to see more of Angela. So I am officially never going to let that go. The fact that, the fact that she's in this, and I'm going to watch every single episode with some sense of trepidation that she might, have something bad happen to us. I'm going to be praying each episode to have her kind of come out the other end safe and sound and be okay and everything as she deserves to be. So hopefully Angela survives. Fingers crossed, and survival for Angela and Audrey. Survival for Angela and Audrey. So there's that. But yeah, I think off the top of my head, that's pretty much all I've really kind of picked up. But it is also kind of pretty late, so I mean, my brain is just kind of still struggling somewhat to kind of pick up the more finite details, but I'm sure back in editing I'll probably pick something up and remember another detail. So anything else you guys want to talk about, comments are open, have at it. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this new season and on this premiere, and what you thought of it, and what you're looking forward to in this. And I think also going to be very interesting and exciting actually watching episodes of Dexter live with you all, like one new reaction and one episode every week. So I think it's gonna be an interesting experience actually watching this live and experiencing those thrills and those joys and everything. So keep an eye out for Dexter New Blood. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this episode. So thank you guys, as always, so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and button that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Dexter New Blood. Once again, the full-length reaction over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.